Hello, and welcome to our movie commentary for the 2016 Marvel movie Doctor Strange. Jesse and I have been talking about doing this for a little while, and we decided to just give it a shot. Have absolutely no idea if this will get listened to by anybody, and have absolutely no idea if we'll ever do another one. Just sort of seeing how we go. Now, we are watching the movie on Disney+, so if you are too, start the video as soon as you see the movie start streaming. Otherwise, if you're watching on DVD or Blu-ray, start it as soon as you see that Marvel Studios sequence start at the beginning. Now, we do spoil a few Marvel movies in our discussion, including the, as of this recording, recently released Spider-Man No Way Home, so you have been warned. Also, apologies, since we're new to this, there will be the occasional audio stuff up. Jesse's microphone wasn't turned on for the first 30 seconds, so his audio is a bit muffled. But apart from that, I have nothing left to intro this video with, so let's get to it. Okay, we've started. We're going. You excited?
Yes.
You sound it. Are you excited?
Yes.
So why are we watching this?
Because this is my favourite Marvel movie.
Okay. This is the first one that has this
I've got
long
a
intro.
handful of things to say.
A handful, okay. Well, are they like scene sensitive? Do we have to get up to that bit, or can you just go? Can you just tell us what the things are now?
No, they're scene sensitive. We've only really got a couple things to say.
I will say, okay, I know you like this movie. I will say though, I dislike the whole, I mean, I think this is fine, the action scene where they run out to the middle of the street and they're fighting. But I always felt it was weird that we started the movie with the magic stuff. You might think that's alright, but I always thought that it would be good to keep the whole movie from Strange's perspective. And when he learns about magic, we learn about magic.
No, I personally liked seeing this library bit at the start.
Okay. You can be wrong. It's like,
I think it was good for Wong to explain why he's new and, you know, all this shit, really.
I hope this isn't loud enough that it's going to come on the microphone. But, oh well, who cares? This is our first time doing a movie commentary. We keep trying. We've always like, yeah, we'll do a movie commentary together, and we do it, and it either sucks, we cringe too hard trying to listen to it, or we just are bored and we never get around to doing another one.
We're going back to formula.
That's MCU now.
Yes, it is.
Isn't that weird? You live in a world where those movies are canon?
I think it's good.
Oh, it's good. It's so strange.
Now my real favourite Marvel movies are canon.
Yeah. The Amazing Spider-Man movies with Andrew Garfield.
The Raimi trilogy.
Yeah, I know, I was making a joke. I guess it is kind of cool that you think they're in some sort of mystical place and then they go out the street and they're just in a populated London city.
I would have preferred this be in Nepal.
But that would have been too, like, not familiar. I think it's good that...
Well, maybe for you.
I think it's London, I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah, the fact that it's just in the city is kind of interesting because you're expecting some exotic locale and they go out and, oh, it's just a regular... It's a regular, boring old white person place, like England.
There's nothing boring about white people places. It's not as exciting as Nepal, but it's certainly not boring. You know, London has terrorism.
Nepalese food is good. I tried Nepalese food the first time the other day.
When?
There's a place a couple blocks away that does a whole bunch of like Southeast Asian stuff. Anyway, this is very off topic.
No, it's not. Nepal's in the movie.
Do you like Inception?
No.
Me neither. And everyone always compares this to Inception. I'm like, this is way better than Inception.
No, it's not Inception. This is different.
I mean, like the visuals of buildings flipping around. That's very like Inception. But I think this is better because it does more interesting visual stuff. Inception had a couple of moments where a building flipped over, and the rest of it is just, what if we made a train where a train isn't supposed to be? What if we made a gun into a slightly bigger gun? You did it.
I think the effects in this movie are really cool, but they would have been a nightmare to make.
I can't even imagine how you would plot out all that building geometry stuff. How do you do that? It has to be like a computer algorithm that does it. A human being
would have to be.
A human being would not be able to think like that. Here he is, Tony Stark, but a doctor this time.
No, I actually don't like his character until after he becomes a wizard.
Yeah, me too. But mainly just because he's an Iron Man ripoff. Because he is an Iron Man ripoff. Although I appreciate they made him slightly more unbearable than Iron Man.
I disagree with that.
Really?
I think Iron Man's completely unbearable.
I hear that a lot. I hear a lot of people say, like, I went to film school, and whenever one of the MCU movies would come out, there would always be a bunch of people in my class who would always complain about Iron Man. I didn't know that Iron Man was such a contentious character. And I know people personally just cannot stand him.
I think he's completely unlikable.
Really? Still?
Yep.
Oh, see, I think he's completely likable now. But I always liked him just because I thought Robert Downey Jr. was funny.
I still can't take to him.
Huh. Well, you don't have to anymore.
No, he's dead, thank God.
But the fact that, I mean, it's coming up in like 20 minutes or so, but after he gets his hand injury...
Oh, spoiler.
If you're listening to this and you haven't watched the movie, what in the hell? But they have a moment where Rachel McAdams says to him, there's more important things in life. And he goes, like, what, you? And he doesn't apologize for saying it. It wasn't something he blurted out. He meant what he said.
You know, he kind of looks a little bit autistic.
I suppose... Oh, by the way, we should specify Jesse's allowed to say these things. He has autism. Just specify. Look, probably no one's ever going to listen to this, but just in case somebody does, I don't want an angry call in the middle of the night. Why'd you say that?
My son... Oh, hang on.
The movie's too good at interrupting your joke.
No, I've got one of those, like, scene-specific things. One of my handful of things is coming up.
I do too, but say yours first.
I'll say it when we get there.
Yeah, freehand it. They spent 20 minutes getting him prepped for this. Patient's already dead. You can do it, Strange. I can't believe that there was once a time when Kevin Feige was like, I don't think we'll use him. I think we'll cast someone else. Because for the longest time, he was looking for other actors.
Alright, this is the bit that I wanted to talk about, the cover your watch. And you can't really hear it here, but in the movie when you've got the sound up, you can hear the ticking stop too. I really like that that's a thing, kind of like, you know, symbolism for Strange having control over time.
He covers up the watch because he's covering up the flow of time or some shit.
Yeah, shut up, nerd. I've said my bit.
I still don't understand. Maybe it's magnetic, but like, how does a clip go on the side of a smooth bullet and pull it out?
Don't think about it too hard. It's a movie.
But it's supposed to be like a realistic brain surgery procedure that a person could do. Whatever.
Yeah, and Strange also has surgery while he's appearing floating over his own body as a fucking ghost.
which is my favourite scene in the movie, but we'll get to it. Wearing the black scrubs. Stands out. Is darker. Is more on the edge. He's also the tallest guy in the movie by quite a while.
How tall is he in real life?
I actually don't think he's that tall. A lot of actors are short. He might only be over 6 foot. 6'1". Rachel McAdams is probably just very short. But anyway, what I was going to get at, are you looking up Benedict Cumberbatch's height?
Yeah, he's 1.83 meters.
Oh, okay.
What's that in feet?
He's 6 or 6'1". Maybe 6.5 an inch. Yeah, so he's only a little bit taller than me, which goes to show how short everyone else in this movie is. Because I'm not that tall.
Benedict Cumberbatch is a Buddhist.
Is he?
Well, according to starsreveal.com, yes.
Well, I trust them. That website I've never heard of. So many of the Avengers are tiny, tiny people. Scarlett Johansson is like 5'4".
She's a woman.
Mark Ruffalo is a short man.
Who's Mark Ruffalo?
The Hulk.
That's very odd that he's small.
Iron Man is like Josh's height.
I really liked that watch scene as well. I like all the time symbolism in this movie.
I just thought it was cool how the watches all spin when you take them out of the drawer.
Alright, so now that we're driving, we're at another sort of bit of the movie where I've got one of my things to say.
This is the most nice things about a movie I've ever heard you say. Usually it's nothing but complaints.
No, I actually really love Doctor Strange.
Because for me, most of this movie is kind of but it has a couple of things in it that I just really, really like.
I think the whole movie is cinematic masterpiece. Now, this bit where he's declining all these different surgeries because it's not worth his time or it's something that'll mess his record, I really like that later in the movie this is also...
It happens to him.
It happens exactly to him and he's really upset about it.
It's like a Saw movie.
Like we can kind of see the impact he's also had on other people.
Did you ever see any of the Saw movies?
No.
Where it'd be like, you spent your whole life being mean to other people, and now in this trap, you'll have to be nice, or otherwise your head will be turned to mashed potatoes. And this car crash is perfectly survivable, and the only thing that got injured was his hands, and some scratches.
Well, have you ever been in a car crash, Joel?
Well, actually, yes, I have, but it was just a little bump. It's like a bumper car thing. That's all. I just got a little... dent in the bumper at the back. I've never flipped my car off a cliff, but I would imagine it would probably kill me.
Well, I flipped my car off a cliff once.
Were you in it at the time?
Yes. I'm actually fine. That's how I got this click in my arm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it makes no sense that he'd... I don't know why they did that. Like, why did they have the car crash be so extreme? Why didn't they just have him, like, just get into a regular car wreck? Regular car wrecks can mess you up for life.
Well, it's so people like me could laugh at it.
And also, and I know the answer to this question, but why didn't they just crash a car?
Oh, can you answer it?
Yeah, because it's cheaper to do it CGI, so you can just do it over and over again and not have to worry about how much it costs. But it would have looked better and would have made the movie better if they just got a stuntman to crash a car into a building. In one of the Bond movies, Casino Royale, has a great car crash scene where the car flips to the air like 5 times.
There's a Bollywood movie called King that has some car crashes.
Okay.
That is fucking brilliant.
I do like that even in the face of all this awfulness that's happening to him, he's still a prick. He's still not humbled yet by anything that's happened to him. He's just getting worse and worse. Anyway, the thing that I was going to say earlier, The guy, I'm forgetting his name, covers up the watch dude.
Yeah.
Nicodemus, that's his first name. Forget his last name. There he is. So he's a comics character. He's like a friend of Doctor Strange's. He consults him on medical stuff, I think, in the comics. I don't like Rachel McAdams' character, really, because I think she's just pointless. They don't end up together.
I remember a while ago you said you don't like their relationship because it seems a bit silly and it goes nowhere.
It goes nowhere. Like, it's not like Iron Man and Pepper, where over a series of movies you get to see them go from boss and employee to husband and wife. It makes sense that you would slowly have that story, but there is no progress to this relationship. They don't even end up together in the end of the movie. And it looks like she marries someone else in the second one from the trailer. So what I think they should have done, write her out, have the story be about him learning to trust the advice of that guy. Here's this other doctor he works with, he doesn't respect him, doesn't listen to him when he gives him medical advice, and by the end of the movie, he's asking him to perform surgery on his corpse while he's a ghost because he's the only person he trusts. I think that would have been much better. Instead, it's just the girl he wants to sleep with.
Oh, he has slept with her, hasn't he? In the past?
Oh yes, I think they hinted that they've done it at least once. Like a drunken mistake. And I know you disagree with this, but I'm saying it because I think it's true, and I've heard a lot of people who say it's true. Doctor Strange, cool character. Cool in almost all the MCU movies he's in. Way cooler than he is in this movie. Kind of like Thor. Thor's not that interesting in the Thor movies. He's way better in other movies, like the Avengers.
Well, I think Doctor Strange carries every fucking movie he's in.
I just think he's a more interesting character when he's the smartest, most capable person in the room. And in this movie, he spends so much of it learning stuff.
I still think he's kick-ass here.
I think he becomes kick-ass in the end. When he does the whole I've come to bargain thing, which I think is a really good...
I really liked that ending, how he didn't actually beat him.
And I've always thought more MCU movies should find a different way to end it apart from just a big fight. I like how this one ends. I like how... I know you haven't watched it, but I really liked how Loki ended, where it's basically just a philosophical conversation. If you kill me, this will happen. If you don't kill me, this will happen. They're equally bad. What are you going to do? I'll find a third option.
Do them both.
No, in Loki, they actually... I think... They kill the bad guy, in which case they must become the bad guy, or they leave him, in which case he just continues to be bad. And they go with kill him and then just leave and see what happens. And it creates a power vacuum, and the even worse bad guy shows up and takes over. Opening the door to Season 2! Season 2 when? Loki Season 2 when?
No Season 2 Loki.
You know what I've been doing recently when I watch movies? Especially when I watch superhero movies, because they're all made like very quickly. I just watch them and I go, who has a wig?
Is that a wig?
Pretty sure that's a wig. That's probably real. I think her hair's real. Because I know that Benedict Cumberbatch wears a wig in No Way Home.
Really?
Yeah. So I just think, so any of these movies where the character changes hairstyle in the movie, I reckon it's all wig.
Well, props to the makeup department. Is that who it is, the makeup department?
I think so.
They did a bang-up job. I wouldn't have noticed.
It's pretty good. No Way Home, it's a little... If there's a close-up of him, it looks a little too perfect, a little too trimmed.
He's a wizard, of course it's perfect. If you were a wizard, wouldn't you magic perfect yourself?
I suppose I would. I'd make my dick smaller so I'd blend in with society.
I'd leave mine the size that it is. Because it's not the size that matters, it's how you use it.
Jesse Small Dick confirmed. You heard it here first.
I'm not ashamed of my small penis.
And here he is, a recognizable actor in a very small role, and you barely remember he's in the movie.
I don't think I know who that is.
Well, no, you wouldn't. You don't, remember actors, but he's had a long and varied career in TV and film. He's also in Coco, the Pixar film, Coco.
I don't know Coco.
Oh, it's a good movie. He played the bad guy. Benjamin Bratt, his name is. He's also in Catwoman. Played the love interest in the Halle Berry Catwoman movie.
All I know is this guy uses magic to walk.
Which is a good idea. I wish that he was in more of the movie. He could be like his friend or something. They could have a sort of a conflict where one of them wants to use magic as a superpower and the other one wants to use magic just to help himself have a better life. Could have been an interesting dynamic, but instead he's in this scene and then he doesn't show up until the post-credits.
I don't think he needed to be in it. Past what he is.
I like that he's talking about his long journey to learn how to walk again. He says, I sat with gurus and sacred women. What's the sacred women bit? What do you mean laying with sacred women? What does that mean? What did you do? Did you have orgies to try to walk again?
Yeah, he did.
I hope so. I want to watch that movie. I want to watch the Pangborn origin story. How this paraplegic man learned to walk.
What an inspiring story.
By having sex with as many women as possible until he learned sorcery. That's my hero. I'd have a poster of that on my wall. I slept with as many women as possible until my legs worked. Oh, Dr. Strange indeed.
I have 7 STIs. I need to sleep with more women to cure them.
He's using the dark dimension to hold back the STIs from entering his body. He draws power from the dark dimension to keep his piss from burning. The dark dimension has failed me. I'll never piss painlessly again. Is this what Nepal's really like? It's just full of ads and tourist traps? You think Nepal would be a little far away from the tourist traps?
So here's a little fun thing that I do sometimes. You know how Snapchat has that maps feature?
Sure.
I actually like...
Monkeys! Sorry, I saw monkeys.
I like to zoom in on Nepal and look at what people in Nepal are uploading on Snapchat, because it's the it's the most strangest things I've ever seen. I once saw these two kids, they're probably no older than maybe 16, dancing on top of a bulldozer on a construction site.
There was a deleted scene here, which I wish they kept in. He's walking through the streets looking for Kalmatage, and he finds a dog with a broken leg, and he pulls just some junk together and makes a splint for the dog.
Oh, that's nice.
I thought they would have, they should have kept that in, because it shows that...
He is a person with...
Yeah, he's
not just an asshole.
He will help if, he has to, and he is still medically capable. I've been watching the 90s Spider-Man show in my spare time. Mordo, very different man in that cartoon. Basically just looks like Doctor Strange without the cape.
Really?
Yeah. And Dormammu is like a red Human Torch looking fireman. I like that he's got scars all over his face. Makes it a bit interesting. Makes it look like he has a past.
You don't touch on that.
No, we don't. They he goes into like one thing about how he's got sort of a dark past when he says, "You have no idea the things I've done." Probably he was just like an assassin for the Ancient One or something. Just killed 1,000 people.
So I always thought he got into a fight with the Crips.
He's not American. I've actually always wondered what accent, because he doesn't sound British totally. Like, because in real life he's British, but he sounds a bit different to this. He's not using his normal voice. So I always wondered, is he maybe trying to sound a bit African? Like he's supposed to be an African-born guy who came here and maybe learned English in other countries?
My brother, I was African born.
We're cutting all that out. This is a good set, but because I watch a lot of behind the scenes for these movies, I'm always like, what's real? Whenever I watch a Marvel movie, who has a wig? Is that background real? If that person's holding something, was that actually there? Was that put in later as an effect?
It sounds like you're ruining the movies for yourself.
These movies are made without a whole lot of effort, and it annoys me. I know it's hard to make a movie with a lot of special effects. I know it's hard to make any movie. I know it's especially hard to make a movie with a lot of money behind it. But for God's sakes, just build a fucking set. Build a prop. That cube in No Way Home, that wasn't real.
What?
That was just a green square box. It was actually see-through. You could put your arm through it. It was just a wireframe. It was bright green. It was never a real thing.
That's so fucking lazy.
I know, and they do it all.
What was the budget for that movie?
Probably about $200 million. This is why. And at some point, this is an effect, the set, because when he gets the mystical journey through space and time, the whole
it extends.
Yeah, the whole room extends. Like that looks kind of real, but I think there's a certain angle on Strange. And I think it's all fake behind him. I think from this angle, I don't think he's in front of anything. Lighting looks a little weird on him. Also, another game I like to play when I watch a Marvel movie. Who's actually talking to somebody? Because
they just stand in front of green screens alone a lot, don't they?
Yeah. I found out something funny the other day. I was watching a YouTube video. Far From Home, the scene when Nick Fury is in his hotel room saying, "Hello, Spider-Man. Nice to finally meet you." Samuel Jackson was just on his own in front of a green screen. He was never in that room. He wasn't even holding that little tranquilizer gun. He was holding a green stick because they didn't know what kind of gun they wanted to use. They didn't build a prop.
Why do they do things like this?
Because they're lazy. It's like, we'll spend a lot of money making it look good, but we won't actually do anything on set that day. A lot of the time they don't even have real actors. When Spider-Man's in a suit, that's not really Tom Holland.
So you know this magic bullshit book that the Ancient One's holding up? It's got like the X-rays, it's got your chakras, it's got whatever.
Yeah.
I saw a book that looked at least very similar to that in the plaza.
Okay.
And actually reading it was full of nonsense. Like, you know, I don't know if you're familiar with these types of people, but you know the Instagram New Age guru people?
Yeah.
It was reading it was like listening to them.
Okay. Oh, here's a question. And this conversation could go very bad very quickly. But the Ancient One, played by a white woman. Thoughts? I actually don't mind. I don't care. But so many people gave it shit.
Well, she's white, so she's got that going for her.
Because in the comics, like, it's a very stereotypical looking old wise Asian man. And they didn't want to do that because they thought that would be racist. So they went...
How would it be racist?
Because he's like the old Chinese martial arts master looking sort of thing.
Generally, these kind of people are presented as the old Asian because people like it, and it's...
Look,
it's successful.
I'm not going to get into what they should have done. I'm just saying that I thought it was a weird decision to go the complete opposite end of the spectrum because it's kind of equally as bad. Even if you don't think that having it be an Asian person is bad, this is kind of equally the same problem. It's like you either represent them exactly as they used to be, or you have no representation at all. It's kind of the same.
Like, watching it, I don't care.
No, I don't
and
care.
knowing it now, I don't care.
Anyway, we should probably stop talking about this because this is one of the most interesting scenes in the movie. How much of this do you think is real?
None of it. I think this was the bit that made Adriana interested in this movie.
This is the bit that made me interested.
Because she really likes all the effects and stuff.
It's weird stuff that they do. Like, I don't even know how they came up with this idea. So this, I think, was the quantum realm from Ant-Man, and then it turns into this sort of weird fractal thing, and then it's made out of hands, and then he's made out of hands.
The hands are just meant to represent his shaking though, right? Or am I looking too much into it?
Actually, I never thought about it before, but that's not a bad interpretation of the scene.
I liked that eye bit.
That bothers the hell out of me. As someone who doesn't like watching things touch eyeballs, watching him actually stick his hand in the folds of the iris. The dark dimension. Yeah, so Dormammu is completely different looking from the comics. He basically just looks like a man, but he's red. He does have like the sort of the lines going down his face though, that he does in this.
This bit was funny. I loved when he shaked his head like that.
So Benedict, in this scene, imagine you're a rabid dog. Go. Rabid dog, severe epilepsy. Action. That looks like a set. He's actually lit properly. Green screen lighting is very flat. Usually there's no shadows on anyone's faces when they do it. One thing that is also improved upon when Doctor Strange comes back is American accent. It's not great in this movie. By the time we get to No Way Home, I think he's got it down much better, but
I didn't really notice it.
then again, I suppose you probably haven't watched much that he's in apart from this.
I've watched this. I've watched Endless Tussle. I watched Final Play.
I mean other Benedict Cumberbatch thing.
Oh no.
You haven't watched Sherlock?
No.
Okay. You want to talk about Benedict Cumberbatch playing someone who's possibly autistic? Sherlock.
I need to Google something.
Jesse's going on his phone now because we've gotten to a bit without Strange in it, so he's completely bored. I just think a lot of this movie is just too average. It's just the plain old dickhead gets humbled by something bad happening to him, meets people who can help him, don't want to help him, they help him but he resists.
So, on the topic of you saying him playing a character that's possibly autistic,
He's done that a lot.
I've Googled Benedict Cumberbatch autistic, and
Oh no! Oh, I know what you're looking at. I know exactly what you're reading right now. Oh god, don't go into it. Don't read what you're reading. I am aware of this interview.
All right, well, just so the people who don't know, who are at home, he says a selection of horrible and demeaning things about autistic people.
Very condescending stuff. He's done it more than once, too, I think. Anyway.
Oh, that's based. And before you get your pants in a knot, remember I am autistic.
Jesse is autistic. He's allowed to say these things about autistic people. I have not said anything about autistic people. It's all been Jesse who's saying the thing. This has been Joel talking about Jesse. Talking about autistic
Even
people.
though I give him my full permission to talk shit about autism.
I've got the pass. The A-word pass.
You can't use the real big boy word, though.
I don't know what the real...
No, you don't. You're not allowed to say...
Oh, okay. Oh, so you are allowed to say...
Yes.
I'm not allowed to say... When I watch this scene now, I'm just thinking, like, how silly would you feel as an actor?
Waving your hands around like this.
He even has a line. Like, even if I were to be able to move my hands like that, I'd just be waving them in the air. Now, I don't remember, or I've tried to notice, but I can't, because it might be... It's either not there or it's too subtle. Does he ever have the handshake in any other movie? I don't think so.
I haven't paid enough attention to
I've
say
tried
with certainty if
watch.
it's there.
I know in Infinity War, he's got the scars on his hands still.
Well, if he doesn't, we could just say he's using magic to stop it.
But if he was using magic to stop it, he can't use magic.
Is that a thing?
That's the whole thing. It's like you either can use your hands or you're a sorcerer. Can't be both. That's why Pangborn can walk, but he can't use magic. It's one or the other. You heal yourself or you shoot lasers out of people.
Oh, he could do like... He could choose both, but not do them at the same time, right?
Apparently not. Otherwise, why wouldn't he just heal himself and be a part-time surgeon, part-time sorcerer supreme? Oh, he's not the sorcerer supreme. Wong is now.
Yeah, because he disappeared.
Probably should have put some spoiler alerts in here for No Way Home, since it didn't come out that long ago.
Oh, well, look, these people knew what they were in for when they watched some random guys on the internet.
Our girlfriends, probably.
Yeah, that's it. I would assume yours has seen the movie too.
Yes, yes she has. What are those? Oh, those are old copies of Mein Kampf that we confiscated. No one's allowed to read those out.
You know, my Christmas present was actually a copy of Mein Kampf.
Thanks, Mom.
Not from my mum.
Oh, thanks, Dad.
Mac.
Oh, your sister.
Yes.
She gets you. Isn't Cagliostro an anime from like the 80s?
I don't know, you fucking weeb.
Hey man, did you ever think about the fact that his name is Benedict Cumberbatch?
And his name is Benedict as well.
Benedict Wong, and he's playing a guy named Wong. Does that mean that Benedict Cumberbatch is playing a guy named Cumberbatch?
No, he's playing a guy called Stephen.
What's Stephen's middle name? Do you know? Stephen Cumberbatch Strange. Think about it. Use your brain.
I'm gonna kick your teeth in.
I just made myself laugh thinking about I'm going to study the spells in this copy of Mein Kampf. There's lots of forbidden magic in here. Yeah, I bet there is.
You know, there's a spell that makes 6 million people disappear.
Oh god, no! Stop! Stop immediately!
It involves a train.
There's a train No Way Home. Don't get in that train, Spider-Man. You're gonna be banished to the dark dimension. Oh god, I was gonna keep it nameless to be funnier. You just went there.
Oh man, I got some things I want to say, but
No.
no, I'm not going to. No, I don't think I should say that.
Oh, hell no. How much of this will be salvageable? Welcome to our 2.5 minute long commentary for the movie Doctor Strange. Why so much of a beeps? He's a boring villain.
This guy or Dormammu?
This guy, Caecilius. He's a great actor. I love him in everything else he's in. But, man. No, he has like one scene where I was kind of into him. A scene where after he fights Strange, then he has like a little bit of humor, but...
Was this the Mr. Doctor
Yeah,
Strange?
that whole, and when he
Yes,
gets,
but who am I to judge?
when he gets locked up in that thing that makes him breakdance,
Yes, the
And he-
fucking suit.
he's like trying to deliver this.
Speech while his mouth is like
Yeah.
covered.
It's like I can't understand what you're saying, and he's just rambling about the apocalypse. They tried to make him basically just an evil version of Strange, but Strange has a personality.
Doesn't the Ancient One talk about how, like, they're pretty much the same guy, but different paths?
I've been rewatching the Kung Fu Panda movies recently. A lot of this reminds me of Kung Fu Panda.
What, like the set?
Just the whole vibe of the story. It's essentially the same plot. His beard reminds me of that Jackass sketch where they glue pubes to Darren's face. Was it Darren? I don't remember.
Now, unrelated to Doctor Strange himself,
Uh,
but that statement about how you can't beat a river into submission, you have to surrender to it, and that's pretty much how magic here works.
yeah.
I saw people talk about how it was so easy for Ned to do magic because he
is.
just accepts things and goes along with it.
There is one line that sets the Ned stuff up right at the start of the movie.
His family has
yeah,
magic.
his family has it, which is how they're supposed to explain why it came so easily to him. But it does the whole prequels thing, which I hate, which is, oh, magic is something that runs in the family. And some people can do it and some people can't. The whole point of this is that anyone can do it, you just have to try. Which is what Star Wars originally was.
I think maybe with this, it's more of the person rather than genetics.
Maybe. I just...
Like, maybe his family is just really, like, go with the flow.
Maybe.
Submit to the river, whatever.
So they're not actually magic, they're just in tune with, like, spirituality.
They're Filipinos.
Oh, right. I'm sure somebody's done a YouTube edit where the movie just ends now because he never comes back.
He froze on Mount Everest.
Or if he like slipped on the ice and fell off the side of the mountain.
He's a giant snowball now. He's gonna crush a small Nepalese village.
Oh, he shaved it perfectly somehow.
You know, shit like this is what makes me think that you can magic your body to be fucking normal if you're not spellcasting, because that would have been impossible with his shaky hands. You know, his facial hair, you wouldn't know by looking at me because it's wispy as fuck and it's gross. But his goatee is what's inspired me.
Yeah, I was actually just looking at it now. It's
Yeah.
like, hang on a second. I think you've taken some inspiration from The Good Doctor.
Yeah, I have.
The Good Doctor, that's a show about a guy with autism.
I know about that. My girlfriend says there's bits that remind her of me.
One thing I do like about his character is that he's so eager to learn things that he doesn't know. He studies constantly. That makes me appreciate his character.
It must be exhausting though. Like when he's in his ghost form, does his mind actually get to rest, or is it just constantly going?
I would say, so consciously, he is awake, but he is energized because his body rested. Technically, no one really has a straight answer for what sleep does. Does it recharge your body or does it recharge your brain? No one's really 100% certain.
Well, I remember it was a long time ago, so I don't know about what I'm actually about to say. But I remember like sleep experiments. Like it made people go insane, didn't it? If they weren't rested.
I think you're thinking of a creepypasta.
Am I? Yeah, well, again, it was a long time ago, so, you know, you could just dismiss what I've said.
Is this the one where they like pull all their veins out of their skin and drape the walls with it?
No.
They rip their faces off and their eyelids so they can...
No, you're thinking of a creepypasta.
I am thinking of a creepypasta.
I may or may not be thinking of something that did happen.
But yes, if you don't sleep for more than a few days, you will have a psychotic break. I think 11 days is the record.
See, I remember I got a cold. Not a cold, like flu or something a while back.
Yeah.
I got like 4 hours sleep over the course of maybe 3 days, and I was hallucinating spiders everywhere.
Interesting. That reminds me. When a few years ago, my dad was doing, he's a construction worker, and he was working on when they renovated the Werribee Mercy. And he was working in the psychiatric ward, doing all of the plastering. And they had the guys come in to decorate. And they just chose some random pattern to put on the wall. It was like line, dot, line, dot. And they brought in an expert just to make sure.
Oh, no.
And he's like, some schizophrenic guy is going to have an episode when he sees this, because he's going to see spiders and snakes. And they had to tear all the wallpaper down and redo it. Have some plain pattern. I just think it's funny that it wasn't until after they had started doing it that someone came along.
You gotta take it down, guys.
It's like, maybe you should have called in an expert before you did this. What won't make people slice up an orderly with a scalpel? I always thought that if you were schizophrenic and you had like really vivid hallucinations, you'd want to decorate stuff with things that you want to come to life. Just put like a bunch of Zoo Weekly centerfolds around your room.
You fucking pervert. One thing I'd like to see is like the creation of one of these magical artifacts.
Yeah. Imbue an object with magic forever and it's just got a superpower now.
Yeah.
It's an interesting idea. Maybe we'll get it in the second one.
I doubt it.
I don't know. We know very little about the second one. We don't even really know the plot. Yeah, alright, settle down.
I think the way Strange's body sort of spun when he got punched was a bit weird then.
Yeah.
Like maybe that was a CGI thing.
I think he was it was him up until he got punched, then it was a CGI, which is why he like moved so weirdly. They couldn't match the position exactly. Now is no time to send dick pics. It's a huge font. It's Doctor Strange.
He's vision impaired.
Very, very hard to see.
It's like opening your parents' phone.
Oh my god! Mom, I did not know how blind you were.
Not only will it make you blind because of how bright it is, but the text size is huge.
Oh god, blue light filter, please. Jesus. Who drew the eye of Agamotto in the middle of the text? That's like, you know, when you have a Word document and you drag something in the middle of the writing and it pushes everything aside.
Some mental giant who wanted to draw pictures before writing.
Cagliostro, you
Cagliostro wanted to draw.
He was drawing with one hand and writing with the other. He's got the supreme left side, right side brain. I did not know you were such a Sigma, Cagliostro. Jesus. I like to think... So whenever I watch this with anyone, they're always like, so is the apple disappearing from his stomach while this is happening? And I like to imagine that that is happening.
That's a good question.
I don't think...
How does it interact with the rest of the world?
It doesn't interact with the rest of the world.
So it's in his stomach.
Yes, it's still in his stomach.
He can infinitely eat the same apple.
Yes. Which makes you wonder how any wizard dies.
Or they don't all have time control, do they?
One did.
Yeah, one guy. I don't think he's going to be like Jesus and want to feed everyone.
Hey Agamotto, how about sharing some of that infinite food our way? Get out of here, Cagliostro, you bitch. I like to imagine Agamotto and Cagliostro were rivals to the bitter end. They were like college roommates who started to hate each other because one of them slept with the other's girl at a party.
Hey Cagliostro, I made this eye. I bet you don't know how to use time control now. No, you can't. I put it in here. You have to open it first.
So yeah, he's making the pages reappear, but Caecilius still has the pages, so... That'd be funny if it took the pages from Caecilius, because then doing this would effectively defeat him. I don't have them anymore, I can't do the spell.
Oh, he's already done the spell.
He started the spell. Well, that better happen in the second one. They better break the space-time continuum. They've set it up. They've set up that it's a bad thing to do. They better do it. I want some weird shit to happen with other dimensions and time travel. You know they're introducing a new superhero in Doctor Strange 2. I think her name's Miss America. She has like the ability to go from one dimension to the other just with thinking about it.
Oh, is that the bitch with the star portals? Or am I someone else?
I think that's it. I don't know.
Hey, where has she been the whole time?
She's like 17. Younger.
Okay, where has she been? What, in school?
Well, the snap happened. So...
oh yeah, she was conveniently one of them. Just get rid of her.
Or she wasn't one of them and she was 12.
Where was she? Jumping between worlds?
She's probably one of those tragic backstories of the kid with superpowers who like, I don't know how to use my powers, help me, Mom. Accidentally kills her parents in an accident involving her power.
Yeah, and rightfully so. Fuck that kid.
So we have the three sanctums across the world protecting three parts of the world. Or the whole world.
You notice that they're all on like the northern part of the world,
yeah,
too.
I couldn't help but notice that Australia didn't get a sanctum. Maybe it's right at the top of Uluru. That's why you're not allowed to go there anymore. You don't let her climb it. Why? No reason. There's a magician.
You're
on top.
also, I'm pretty sure they took off Street View of it, so you can't digitally climb it.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay. That's weird. We can't have photos?
because I remember, like many, many years ago when this was still going on, people were mad because they were taking it off there too.
That's strange. That's Doctor Strange. So many puns you could do with this movie. But don't get the wrong idea.
Shut up!
I came here to heal my hands. You know how long it's been since I've had a proper wank? It's been about 4 months.
He doesn't need to move his arms or hands anymore, it just does it on its own.
He astral projects himself and jerks himself off.
What?
It's not game, it's you.
Alright. Yeah.
Because in WandaVision, they show that you can interact with something in an astral form.
Well, yeah, remember they knocked all those chips out of the snack machine?
Oh yeah, that's true. They show it in this one.
Yeah.
Oh, he's also reading his book in astral form.
Yeah.
Well, that's the book is an astral form. Book ghost. Ghost book.
The book's not alive.
Books can't be alive. Apart from the Holy Bible. That's got the Spirit of the Lord inside of it. Hey, around that corner is where Iron Man sees the aliens land. My God.
What year is this?
Well, so the first part, everything up until him learning how to be a magic man, takes place somewhere after Age of Ultron, whereas the rest of the movie, there's like a year time jump, and he's learned magic a bit more, and that takes place after Civil War. So it's like before Civil War and after Civil War, depending on what half the movie you're in. By this point, Civil War's already happened.
So it's like 2015,
16.
okay.
They're getting really confusing now. Like, none of the movies take place in order anymore. We had Black Widow, which is 2016, because it's after Civil War, immediately followed up by Shang-Chi, which I think takes place before No Way Home and before Far From Home. We have Eternals, which I think is before Shang-Chi. I love that this sorcerer's name is Daniel.
That one.
Yeah, him, that guy.
He doesn't look like a Daniel.
He came in and said, Daniel, I see you're guarding the sanctum. I like the look of these air weapons. I like that they sort of refract light.
Not air, he's folding matter. Daniel's dead. Damn, Daniel.
Back at it again with the sorcery. Remember oh, fuck. Let me try that again.
What, Daniel?
Daniel? Dan Daniel. That's what I was 1 second away from saying. Oh, that's the one bit of humour that he's got. Oh my God. You already stabbed him in the stomach. You needed a heart shot. We got to get all the way through the aorta. That's how we'll know he's dead. None of this is real. None of this is real. They're not even standing on a set. Nothing is really in front of these actors' faces.
I would hate to be an actor for Marvel.
Yeah, so would I.
I would like to act on a set. Not in front of blue and green screens all day.
I know you're a fan of The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Are you also a fan of The Hobbit?
I know about that, Joel.
You know about the Gandalf
Yes.
thing where he cried on set?
He was very upset. I imagine I would be just like him, where I would...
Because he was sitting on nothing talking to no one.
Yeah, he didn't become an actor so he could not talk to anybody standing in front of a wall.
Which is funny. That must...
because he signed on to do the movie, and then he was upset that that's how they were doing the movie, which means no one told him that's how they were making it. I wonder if they tell anyone when they make one of these. You're going to be Spider-Man. Awesome. Do I get to wear the suit? No, suit's CGI. You won't actually be there. You'll be playing Peter Parker. You'll be in the talking bits. And then we'll bring you back 7 months later to dub over your lines as Spider-Man. Being Spider-Man, for like this Spider-Man, Tom Holland and beyond,
It sucks.
it would be a bad job. Tobey Maguire would be fun though. You're actually on sets, that burning apartment building with Willem Dafoe, you're actually punching him in the face. Be interesting. Oh, this guy, Scott Adkins, Hollywood stuntman extraordinaire. And he regrets doing this movie because he wished that he could have been a bigger villain in a later one. But now but now he's this, he has one fight, gets killed, doesn't even have a line. He's a great actor. One of the best physical stuntmen working. Would have been cool to see him play a proper role, not just a henchman. I like, we can't hear because we're watching this movie very quietly, but during this bit where he holds it up, the music gets really quiet and really silly. The whole fight's got this music, and then when he holds up that little thing, it's which always made me laugh because it sounds like it's coming out of the thing. The music is going. Is there a little orchestra inside this? Again, it reminds me of Kung Fu Panda. The scene where he goes through the Jade Palace and it's got all these relics on the wall and he's knocking shit over and he smashes over the urn of 1,000 souls and you hear like a little scream when he smashes it. It just goes, ah! And then he like sweeps it up with his foot and he goes, ah! Oh, here comes Hero Shot. Da, 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 da. The music sounds a bit like Star Trek. It's probably the same guy, I think. I think it is, actually. Oh, also, all the Marvel movies are just scored by the same guy now. He does the music for all of them. Doctor Strange, Spider-Man. Not actually on a set, on a blue screen or green screen, standing on a treadmill. That's how they did this. Here's the one weird bit where he breakdances. It's funny, I read an interview with Mads Mikkelsen, who plays Caecilius, where he was saying that he auditioned for a superhero movie a couple of years before this. I think it might have been Fantastic Four. And the audition was, he had to do a fight scene for the audition, but he didn't have anything to interact with. So he was just doing it by himself with nothing. And he did it for about half a minute before he said, I don't want to do the movie anymore, and he left. Good on him. Which makes me wonder, if he really didn't want to do a movie like that, they must have driven a truckload of money up to his house to get him to do this. So many superhero movies, Marvel movies included, have this problem, where the villain has no motivation the entire film, except for one scene where they talk about what their motivation is. Like, how about show the motivation? Have it be a recurring thing throughout. Show what they're fighting for. What do they stand to lose if they don't win? Because he has nothing to lose. If he doesn't succeed, everything stays the same. Make it so that his life will be worse if he doesn't pull it off. That makes him interesting.
His life would be worse if he did pull it off, though.
Like, you haven't seen Black Panther, have you?
No.
But like, his whole thing, the villain's whole thing in that movie, was he wanted an uprising of black people because they had been persecuted. So it doesn't really affect him because he has more power than everyone else, but I understand his motivation. Same with Thanos. Like, he wanted to
Thanos was right.
he wanted to fight for the fate of the whole universe. He did, like, benefit people. He's not benefiting anyone except himself because he prefers things this way, but nothing bad will happen to anyone if he fails.
He's a selfish villain.
Cagliostro and his rituals.
Did we ever see Cagliostro? Was he that guy in What If, or...
What guy and what if?
You remember when Strange went back in time to that library? There was that guy?
No, that's not Cagliostro.
That's not him? Okay.
I don't remember his name, but... I like that line. This can't be good. Look at your face. You're ugly. You must be evil. In the heart, Scott Adkins. Is this the most blood in a Marvel movie?
That's the most blood?
Probably.
What a fucking joke.
I'm talking about MCU movies, not like The Punisher and stuff like that.
I like the screams that he makes in this scene.
Would have made for an interesting character if they gave him some lines. So, this guy ends up getting out of this by astral projecting and then following Strange and then dying when he gets defibrillated. But wouldn't he have died anyway because his body is being suffocated by the cape right now and having his head violently banged into the walls and floor?
Was the cape trying to kill him or just hold him off?
But like, wouldn't you die? This thing tightly wrapped around your head and shaking you around violently?
Well, I don't know. How thick is the cape?
It looks pretty thick. It looks like a curtain. I like watching this with Ashley because she can like examine this scene and be like, oh, that's not how you'd really do it.
What's Ashley?
She's a nurse.
Oh, okay.
Well, I know like she's a doctor, not a nurse, but like still, Ashley does have to do some of this. Come on, Regina George, you can do it. This is my favourite scene in the movie. The ghost fight. So this is really where they get into like, they're doing everything they possibly can with the premise of him being this fantastical wizard. The rest of the movie is just it's Kung Fu Panda. He goes to the place, he tries to learn to be awesome, no one likes him, no one thinks he can do it, he doesn't think he can do it. Doctor Strange really should have been played by Jack Black.
No. No, I don't think so.
Yep, just leave your body there to,
Oh, it's not like he was able to fight the cape back or anything. Fuck it, right?
Why doesn't he just unravel the cape? Like, can't he just pull it around his head the other way? And
Should we do a bit of power scaling on how strong the cape is?
okay, sure, you go ahead.
I think the cape is building level.
Building level?
So there's different tiers in like the power scaling community.
Yeah, I'm vaguely familiar.
Yeah, he's building level the cape.
Talk
I'm
about
not going to give you any of my reasons to support that.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to say it.
So what can they interact with, and why? If they hit something really hard, they can kind of wobble it.
Do they need to intentionally interact with it to be, like, effective?
Because they hit that vending machine pretty hard. See, he should be performing the surgery right now. This should be the redemption arc for Strange, learning to trust this guy enough that he's willing to let him do this. And then after the Ancient One dies, Nicodemus does everything in his power to help her, but he can't. He apologizes to Strange, and Strange says, "You did the best you could, you're a good doctor, I'm sorry." Boom! That would have been so much better than just a boring love story. Because love stories in superhero movies are almost always bad.
I think this is the greatest romance story I've ever seen.
And that's saying something, because she was in the Notebook.
I haven't seen The Notebook.
Me neither, actually. Wait, the cape's gone. It's not on his face anymore.
I want to know what the interaction between the shock and the magic is.
Can you electrically charge up your magic?
Like in the fight with Thanos, why didn't he just junk himself and then...
I'm carrying around a portable defibrillator at all times, just in case I need to murder somebody. Okay, Thanos. Just grabs Thanos by the nuts. Fries him. Is the Eye of Agamotto not metal?
I don't know what it is.
Because he was defibrillated while still wearing it. It should have burnt through his chest. That would have been cool if he had the Eye of Agamotto like branded on him. So even though he doesn't have it anymore, because he can't, because the stone is destroyed, he's always got the Eye of Agamotto on him even when he's not wearing it. Because it's just...
He still has the eye itself in the trailer for the next movie, doesn't he?
I don't remember. If you know, please call in at... What's your phone number?
I don't give them my phone number. I'm fairly certain he still has the eye in the trailer.
Some random guy in a third world country does stumble upon this in 10 years' time, get the phone number, call you in the middle of the night. Yes, excuse me, I watched Multiverse of Madness.
Yes, we've all watched it.
It's 2037 now.
I watched Multiverse of Madness. He have the Eye of Agamotto.
What accent are you doing?
I am African, my brother.
This is all getting cut out. Unless it's an African person with autism, you can't impersonate them. I was very surprised when I saw the behind the scenes of this, that the room is real.
The room is real.
The room is real. How they did it was actually kind of cool. So he goes through the portal into the next room. In real life, he's walking up a little green ramp onto a little green foam platform and just staying there. And they CGI'd the portal and CGI'd the room inside the portal around the real Benedict Cumberbatch. Yes.
That sounds difficult.
It does sound very difficult.
Why did they make that a real thing?
I know, that's like really difficult.
Of all the things that you've pointed out so far.
So a room has to be fake, but we'll do that practical. That was our other hero shot, him throwing that cape on himself in slow motion. Some really bad names for things. The Cloak of Levitation. Well, yeah.
That's what it does. I think it's a very good name.
No other names?
It's very descriptive of exactly what it does.
I thought they were all supposed to be named after people that, like, invented them or something.
Yeah, haven't you heard of
Mr. Levitation.
Professor Levitation?
The inventor of levitation? Just like how, back in the 1600s, when Benjamin Electricity made his amazing discovery.
Or Ben Running, when he tried walking twice at the same time.
Wow. Doctor.
Doctor.
That American accent isn't 100% there.
I'm a doctor.
I am a doctor. Hitting that hard R a bit unnaturally there. Don't make a hard R joke. I know it's formulating in your brain. Don't do it. There's just got to be one long disclaimer scrolling across the screen for the next hour and a half. Also, I know he's a comic book character, and he's probably based on some real-life god or deity, but Dormammu is a silly name, because it's got the word mum in it. Dormammu. I would have called him Mummy. Like, talking to him face-to-face. Yo, Mamu. So we got Strange, Mordo, Dormammu. This is the silly name movie. I'm looking forward to seeing him with dreads in the next one. It's a more interesting look for him than just a boring short haircut.
I want to know the story about why he chose to grow the dreads.
Probably because he's been living in seclusion and he's just letting his hair grow out.
Wait, for those of you at home who have never had long hair before, it's very fucking annoying.
It does get annoying.
So,
I sweat a lot nowadays.
you know, people who have had long hair before, I don't know why you'd choose to have long hair again once you get rid of it.
This is all good stuff for the Doctor Strange commentary. Let's talk about hairstyles some more.
I like Strange's hairstyle.
Yes. Which I'm almost certain is a wig. Because it's sort of too perfectly shaped. Thor 3 is the only Thor movie that doesn't wear a wig.
He's in Thor 3?
Oh, no. Sorry. Oh, he is in Thor 3. But I mean Thor has a wig in every movie except Thor 3.
Oh.
But yes, Doctor Strange is in Thor 3.
What's he do?
Do you remember the post-credits scene of this where Thor was in it?
Ah, yes.
It's that, but longer.
Okay.
That is just a scene from Thor 3. They do that sometimes. They get a bit lazy, so they just take a scene from the next movie and put it. Like Ant-Man had a scene from Civil War in it. I'm done with post-credit scenes now.
Why, spoilers?
I just think that now that we've gotten to the point where No Way Home just put a trailer in, just do that now. Just put the trailer for the next movie. Don't, because like, if it's important, put it in the movie. Don't put it in a post-credit scene. I think Far From Home was when I started being a bit like, stop doing it.
Yeah, but isn't that like Marvel's thing that they do?
Well, okay, do a post-credit scene, but have it be completely unnecessary to watch. Don't put vital plot information in there like Far From Home did, where they cut out the ending of the movie and put it in the credits because they didn't know what to do, because Far From Home was kind of edited hastily.
There's nothing I love more than quick editing.
It's not quick editing.
Rushed
it's
editing.
Yeah, like they didn't have time to get the movie. Because like if you watch the trailer for Far From Home, there's a lot of stuff in it that's not in the movie. So clearly a lot of things changed very close to when it came out. And they just took...
They pulled a Sony and just kept editing it right up until like release.
I think so. I mean, that is Sony's shtick. Because even though people like to think that those Spider-Man movies are Marvel movies that Sony tries to have a hand in, it's actually the other way around. Sony makes them, Marvel just helps with things. Speaking of Sony, Sam Raimi is now making Doctor Strange 2.
I'm very excited for it.
I hope it actually feels like a Sam Raimi movie.
Oh, it better fucking feel like a Raimi movie. I don't want it to feel like a generic Marvel movie.
Like this.
Yeah, except this is one of Marvel's better, I would say.
Sure, but it does feel like just a generic movie. Like, can you tell that this is from the director of Sinister?
No,
Exactly.
because it's Marvel.
But when you watch Spider-Man 2, like, yes, this was made by Sam Raimi. Or Thor 3. I know you haven't watched Thor 3, but you can tell that that's a Taika Waititi movie because he has a very specific style of...
Having now seen the Evil Dead shit, I can see Sam Raimi in like more of, you know, Raiminess in the original Spider-Man.
We should do just like watch every movie he ever made.
Oh, we're coming up to, I think, the last bit of like my handful of things that I wanted to say that are scene specific.
Sure, and then after that...
But it's more of like,
we cut the movie off.
it's not really important to the movie, it's more of a thing that happened to me
That's fine.
while I was watching the movie.
I want to hear your stories, Jesse. You're a very interesting man.
Yes, I am. I'll say it as we get to it, though.
Oh, so I just have to sit in silence?
Yeah, sit in silence, shut up. I mean, we can talk for a little bit. I know there's a little bit of time.
Okay, what kind of chip is your favorite? Thick cut, French fry?
Shoestring.
Oh, shoestring. Okay, yep, that's good. I like curly myself.
Yeah, curly goes alright. I don't think that's topical to the movie.
What?
What's chips got to do with the movie?
The chips are a cheap way of entertaining the masses, much like Marvel films are. There, I found something. Yeah, you've been stabbed.
Alright, so this bit coming up.
Where she falls through the fucking glass, smashes her brains on the floor.
Yep. So, this bit, right now, funnily enough, as soon as she's lifeless on the ground,
Yeah.
my internet cut out, and so I got a screen come up saying my internet's out, whatever. And so it looked like the movie just ended right there.
That would have been a wonderful way to end the film.
It was funny as fuck, but no one else was home to witness it.
Just...
And that was it.
Credits come up on screen. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Directed by Scott Derrickson. You see, this should have been more of a thing. Him trusting that dude. Should have been a long journey to those two becoming peers instead of enemies. The thing's glitching. There must be a ghost. I love how you
That was a funny face he pulled.
you astral project by like you did like make like you're doing a shit.
It looks like he's just shit his pants, yeah.
I know when I shit myself while standing up, I fall backwards violently. And I'm usually in a hospital when it happens. This bit's all good though. I like this whole scene. And one thing I also really like about it is they've clearly been airbrushed slightly to smooth out their faces because they're ghosts, so they don't have any definition to their faces. I thought that was an interesting touch. They've been CGI'd to look less realistic on purpose. Because they're not actually physically there. And I like the whole thing with the bolt of lightning slowly going across the sky, which means that they are moving faster than light right now. They have to be.
Well, yeah, they're having a conversation at the speed of the lightning.
I like that the whole message of the movie is, oh, see, the camera, it spun around to show that it really hit him hard.
Transparency and...
But like, the whole message of the movie is, don't think about yourself. Who cares about you?
That's not what I took away from the movie.
What did you take away from the movie?
I will tell you once we get to the Dormammu part, because that's where the real message of what I took away gets to it.
So you're waiting for the end to talk about something interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the ending is ultimately where the message should be, right?
Yeah, basically. Around the ending.
Half of the message I got is at that bit. The other half is right at the start during the car crash. But you need both of these two moments with the car crash and Dormammu to make the full message.
I think I know what it is.
Yeah, you probably do.
The first part of the message, look where you're fucking going while you're driving your car, you stupid idiot. And the second one is that you can annoy someone into doing whatever you want them to do. Like Dormammu.
That's a good take, but no, not quite.
If you have been inconvenienced by a car accident, you can inconvenience other people at your leisure and not feel bad about it.
Yes, but that's not my takeaway. Stop trying to ruin it.
If you have the opportunity to sleep with Rachel McAdams, you should fucking do it already.
Sure.
That's the message of the movie. You have access to a Rachel McAdams and you left. You went away. Why'd you do this, you fool?
I want to know where she went. I know she's dead, but where?
Marvel Heaven. The same place that Tony's parents are in and Black Widow.
Did we see that? Or...
No, we've never seen a proper afterlife. I'm against showing the afterlife in movies that aren't about the afterlife because it immediately lowers the stakes. Like Harry Potter, when he dies and goes to purgatory.
To the train station.
Yeah, it's okay. So if he dies, he just comes back here again. If they all die, they come back here again. So no one loses anyone. Cool. No one can lose in this situation. No one has anything to lose.
Well, I mean, Harry Potter also has fucking ghosts that can fly around and interact with the real world.
Yes, but in the books, not the movies, but in the books, they specify that that is a very specific thing that happens to some people. It's rare as hell. So you shouldn't expect your loved one to come back as a ghost.
It's rare as hell.
Yeah. They don't use those words.
I wish they did.
But yeah, there's a bit in the second book where he's talking to Nearly Headless Nick. And he asks him, like, have you ever met my parents? Are my parents, like, in the ghost world with you? And Nick has to, like, break it to him that, no, most people don't come back as ghosts. Your parents are in another place, I'm sorry, we don't have access to them. Which is kind of a good scene, because he's talking to a 12-year-old about his dead parents. I wish they kind of put that in the movie. Anyway, we're not talking about Harry Potter. Puts on the cape. Cape wipes away the tear. Comedy ensues.
Stop it.
Do you think when he goes to the toilet, he tries to like shake his dick? Stop it!
Joel, I wish you'd shut up sometimes.
CGI tears, not him really crying. Speaking of the laziness of Marvel movies, I found something out a little while ago that blew my mind.
Go on.
Now, this isn't totally Marvel's fault. This is COVID's fault. Because of No Way Home was made during COVID,
Yeah.
a lot of people involved in the making of it couldn't interact with each other, including makeup people, because you have to touch someone's face.
Yeah.
So there were no makeup people. All the makeup is CGI in No Way Home. All of it, including just like foundation on Zendaya's face. It's all fake. They've all been airbrushed.
That would have been so difficult to do.
And probably the blood after they have a fight scene is all fake.
That's very disappointing to hear.
Yep. Again, though, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say they would have done it properly if COVID wasn't a
I'm
thing.
going to say they should have done it regardless of COVID.
They should have put the makeup brush on like a very long pole and then so
With like binoculars on the end of the stick so they can see.
one of those like just one-eyed binoculars.
A monocle.
No, not a monocle. The ones that like jewelers use to examine diamonds. They should have had one of those.
The tiny telescopes.
Yeah, those things. I do like that this whole movie is just setting him up for the second movie because he gets proper motivation instead of just introducing him as... I'm sure there will be another villain in the second one, but the fact is that the fact that they've set this guy up this entire film works because by the time we see him in the second one, we know exactly where he's coming from. Oh, Mordo. They were both in 12 Years a Slave together.
Really?
Yeah. Benedict Cumberbatch played the slave master. That would have been awkward on set. Do you remember the last time we were together and I bought you?
Is that the real villain origin story?
He's a slave who just came back to kill everyone. Also, it's Django.
Yeah.
Mordo, Unchained. I'd watch that. The Dark Dimension. Why is it called the Dark Dimension? It's bright purple.
Oh, it's not as bright as other places.
So I know we both like the I've come to bargain bit, but everything leading up to that, the fight in reverse with things coming at them backwards, I think is a great idea. And I like how they visually show how you break out of a spell. Like they sort of ripple their way out of it and snap back, and they're going the right way instead of in reverse. You're cold.
There's one point we see someone fly through the windscreen back into the car.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's funny as fuck.
And it's a woman too. It's like a young woman. Which, like, they don't usually show young women dying violently in movies like this. Oh, here he comes. He's breaking out of it. No, he's facing the other way now. I can't imagine the logistics of doing this.
The guy unfired himself too there. That was...
Oh, I like Wong as well, because Wong's dead, impaled on a piece of rebar under a pile of bricks. And he re-alives from that. And then she gets stuck in the aquarium. Yeah! She drowns. Oh, here he goes.
Oh, the blood went back into her head.
The only reason this is set in Hong Kong is so they could sell it to the Chinese market. Literally the only reason why this doesn't take place in America. I think about these things all the time. Like, why is there suddenly a scene in China? Well, so the Chinese people would like it more. Come on, get to the Wong bit. It's funny. Yep, here it is. Here it comes.
Oh my god, he is impaled!
It's fine.
Wong doesn't know that he was fucking dead, does he?
I'm guessing that if you break out of it, you remember.
Oh.
That was weird. How do you do that? Oh no, I broke his magic. They should have left it like this.
What, frozen?
Yeah, they just walk away. In the MCU, Hong Kong is the frozen city where everyone just like stops.
I want to know, is he like affecting the entire world right now, or just this particular area?
I think just the bit that Dormammu is like taking over here. Everything in this little bubble of Hong Kong. Beyond time. Okay. One of the best finales to one of these Marvel movies.
Annoying the villain until he leaves.
Yeah, we don't have to punch him. We don't have to blow him up with a grenade. We just get him into a loop. And he gets so irritated that he was willing to do whatever you say. It's a good idea. So what other Marvel movies have like a really good climactic thing? No Way Home, obviously.
Endgame, because Iron Man fucking dies, and I know I don't need to see him again.
See, I'm not huge on the finale of Endgame just because I don't usually like just giant battle scenes like that because they're a bit boring. I don't mind Infinity Wars 1 because it's a bit smaller. Thanos fights Iron Man and the rest on the planet. Then he goes to Wakanda and just punches everyone in the face once and kills Vision and leaves. I've told you that that's Benedict Cumberbatch as Dormammu, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. Alright, well, now that we've reached Dormammu, I can tell you the full message that I took away from the movie.
Tell me, I'm so ready.
So,
spread your whole message all over me.
If you use your phone while you're driving, you're going to become a really cool wizard who has to fight fucking aliens and shit.
Everything's gonna work out just fine.
Everything's gonna work out in the best possible way.
That is a good message.
Which is why I'm always in a call or texting while I'm driving.
I actually go out of my way to text people when I'm in my car. I just call people up. I do conference calls with as many people as possible. Hey, Mom, Dad, Uncle Bill, next door neighbor, and my old English teacher. How you all doing?
I just found your number on a needs numbers group on Facebook that was left public. Hey, what are you doing? I'm driving.
I'm driving down the freeway. The first time I saw this, the first time he does that little repeat, I thought the movie had fucked up.
Really?
I thought it was like a projector issue and part of the movie had skipped and like replayed itself. I didn't get what they were doing. Bargain. I say bargain because my American accent's not perfect.
So I know, like, in movie we only see this a handful of times, but like in actuality, this was like thousands of years, wasn't it, that he did it?
In order to piss Dormammu off that much, an endless being who has existed for all eternity,
Yeah.
this would have had to go on for a long time.
I want to know how many times Strange died before he pissed Dormammu off enough to just stop.
So, have you seen Groundhog Day?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you really like it. But, like, so he's in the movie, he's in this eternal time loop 100 times.
Yeah.
But he does so many things in the movie that would take years to perfect. So he must have spent 1,000 years doing it. Like, he learns to speak other languages, he perfectly memorizes the movements of everyone in his hometown and where they're going and when, and what they'll say. He knows everyone's dialogue all day. He learns how to do, like, throw a card into a hat 2 meters away from him over and over again. So, like, man, Groundhog Day would take place over 1,000,000 years. He's doing the Spider-Man hand thing. He's doing this. Shazam. Go web go. Get off your fucking phone,
I'm looking
mate.
at how long the fight with Mummy.
Mummy doll.
I'm fucking stuttering. I'm looking at how long the fight went for.
It'd be funny if the rest of the universe wasn't paused while this was happening. So he goes back and it's been 1,000 years and everyone's dead. Damn. I shouldn't have done that.
There's no, like, time, it's just a heap of speculation, it looks like.
Yeah, of course. Is this the worst villain fate of any of these movies?
I would say so.
So Iron Man ends in a boring fight, Hulk ends in a boring fight, Iron Man 2 boring fight, Thor boring fight, Captain America boring fight, Avengers kind of ends okay because it's just one giant battle. Iron Man 3 kind of has an interesting ending.
I never saw Iron Man 3.
It ends with him activating his 50 different Iron Man suits to all help him fight one dude. And he's just jumping from one suit to the other depending on what he needs. Thor 2, boring fight. Captain America 2 ends in a boring fight, which is a shame because all the other fights are really good. Guardians of the Galaxy had a good ending. The dance-off.
Didn't see that either.
Dance-off to save the universe.
That seems silly.
The whole movie's like that. Age of Ultron, boring fight.
I fucking hated Age of Ultron.
Ant-Man, boring fight. Civil War was okay. Captain America and Bucky teaming up to fight Iron Man, while Black Panther was like talking to the villain and talking about his issues. That was a good ending. This has a good ending. What's after this? Guardians of the Galaxy 2. That was okay. It was sort of a boring fight, but it was done a bit more interesting. Homecoming, I like the last fight to that, on the plane and on the beach. Thor 3, kind of a boring fight. Black Panther, very bad ending. Infinity War, don't mind. Ant-Man and the Wasp, how did that end? I don't even remember. I think that was a boring fight. Captain Marvel, boring fight. Endgame, boring fight. Far From Home, I thought was okay. The Mysterio bit. Him finally mastering his spider sense. Black Widow, very bad ending. Shang-Chi, most people think it's boring. I think it's okay. Eternals, boring as hell. No Way Home pretty good. So I'm going to say No Way Home and this. They're the only two with a really standout file.
I had a lot of fun with No Way Home.
No Way Home, yeah, No Way Home's good. So Doctor Strange, Sam Raimi really likes him as a character.
That makes me happy.
Kevin Feige said that it was his favourite superhero growing up.
Okay.
So I have high hopes. Those two together on one movie.
I'm fairly certain my first superhero was Spider-Man.
I think I watched the cartoon a bit. I really liked Spider-Man as a little kid.
I remember I watched the movies, I played heaps of the games.
I watched Superman a lot as a kid. The first movie.
I'm fairly certain the only comics I've ever read were Spider-Man.
Okay.
And what was that character, like the Phantom? You know, the guy with the purple.
Purple?
Yeah.
Phantom.
I read that
Oh
and
my God.
Spider-Man, that's it.
Fake set, fake window, fake cape, fake city, everything is not real!
Are we gonna do the post-credit scene?
Yeah,
again?
we'll watch the whole
Okay, I'll
credit.
make my insensitive joke after that.
Is it something that I'm just going to cut out?
Yes.
Okay, wait until the whole thing's done, please. Or say it now and we'll just have 10 seconds of silence.
If it's a fake CG city, why don't they just have the Twin Towers?
Oh, that's not too bad.
It would have been funny to see them get destroyed in the movie.
Oh no, I was going to say that this is just a fantasy world where that never happened.
So they should still be standing
Yeah.
there.
Because why not? It's a fantasy
Couldn't
world.
we have the Falcon fly into them?
Why the Falcon? He's a hero. Make it Vulture or Green Goblin.
That Vulture, that's what I was thinking of. Can we have Vulture fly into them?
Are you aware of the 9/11 Marvel comic?
No.
It was the first thing that Marvel released after 9/11 happened. And it's all the heroes and all the villains gathering together to pull people out of the rubble. And Doctor Doom is like crying, and the Green Goblin is like depressed and sitting down on the ground. And I saw a hilarious TikTok where a guy was talking about that, and he said, that's total bullshit. If the Green Goblin saw 9/11, he'd be like, hey, thanks, Al Qaeda, and fly away. Oh yeah, so this is the bit that's in Fall 3, but it keeps going, like, because at the end of this he says that I'll help you find Loki.
Why has he got gloves? Is it explained?
In the comics he has orange gloves on. But he never wears them in any other movie.
In the comics, his robe is also different.
Yeah, and the cape is a lot taller, and he has more of a goatee going on.
When I explained to Adriana that the mug fills up just because of magical bullshit, she didn't like that. She said it didn't make sense.
Oh, that didn't make sense.
I'm fairly certain she said it didn't make sense, and she didn't like it.
I'm going to turn the volume down because there's just credit music. Still as good as you remember. I mean, you probably watched this like a week ago.
I watch this movie every day.
Adriana must hate you.
No?
No one else can like this as much as you do.
Why? It's a brilliant movie.
It's okay.
It's fucking fantastic.
Pat Kiernan plays himself. Who?
You don't know Pat Kiernan?
I've never heard of that.
He played himself. This is one of Marvel's greatest movies.
I would call it upper mid tier.
And I would say you're wrong.
It's a B minus.
No.
Nah.
This
Nah.
is like
You're wrong.
S tier.
S.
S plus.
S for strange. Strange tier. Strange and Spider-Man. That's S. Don't you dare throw rubbish at me, sir.
Yeah. S for Spider-Man and Strange.
But yeah, hopefully the second one will be a bit more unusual. It'll think a bit more outside the box. It'll do weirder stuff. It'll bring Bruce Campbell in for a cameo because he's in all the Spider-Man movies. He is in it, by the way. He's basically confirmed that he's got a cameo in.
Good.
So. Well, thank you.
Will they be fighting Deadites
They might. I mean,
in the multiverse?
they might do some joke where like the dead rise up and they look basically like Deadites, and he just fights them off.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. I would love it if at the end of the second one, Doctor Strange opens a portal to another dimension and gets sucked in, and he wakes up and he's in medieval times. They end it the exact same way. Strange of Darkness. Coming 2025. I think this is the longest time in between sequels. Doctor Strange 1, 2016.
Yeah, well, see, Strange had his plate full carrying every other movie he was in.
So now that we've watched what you want to watch, next time we do this, we're watching either X-Men or
We're
Batman.
gonna watch this again.
We're watching either X-Men or Batman. I'll let you pick.
Doctor Strange?
Beer, no coffee.
Beer?
C-O-B-E. Maybe we'll just watch episodes of The Simpsons. We'll do an episode by episode commentary. Welcome back to episode 157 of The Simpsons
I
commentary.
dread the day we get to the newer stuff.
I mean, that won't take that long. The good stuff stopped about 8 seasons in.
No,
We're up to season 33.
we're that far in?
Far in, man.
Just let it die. Stop, it's already dead.
One of them's about to die. Marge sounds like she's about to drop dead. If you've ever listened to any of the new episodes,
I haven't.
she sounds like she's got throat cancer. It's really bad.
Well, talking like this would do that, do you?
Yeah, like she sounds like it hurts to do the voice. And like Marge's whole joke is that she's got a scratchy voice. It doesn't. It still sounded like it could be a normal person's voice. Like Marge sounded like a person could talk like that, but now it sounds like she just struggles through the lines. S tier. S for Strange, Spider-Man, and Simpsons.
Yeah.
How many steamed hams would you give Doctor Strange?
All of the steamed hams in Krusty Burger.
That's a lot of steamed hams, Jesse. How about you folks at home? How many steamed hams would you give Marvel Studios Doctor Strange?
I give it 15 Aurora Borealises out of 7 steamed hams.
My God. In memory of David Stapleton. Good on you. You did it, man. Film Victoria. Who cares about David Stapleton? Part of this was done in Australia. Yay! They do the effects, I think. Yeah.
I worked on the effects.
Hey, there's a driving while distracted warning message at the end.
Yeah. You're gonna become a fucking wizard.
Don't look at your phone while driving, kids. Don't do it unless you want to be awesome.
Do you want to fight some fucking aliens and get some cool powers?
Yeah.
Yeah, text and drive.
Text this number, preferably while driving.
text this number saying, I take the pledge. To take the pledge to text while driving.
I want to do more of these, either with you or with the other guys, or with Ashley, anyone. But the next time it's just you and me, we're doing
Doctor
either
Strange.
the first X-Men movie or the first Batman, not the first Batman movie, the first 80s Batman movie.
First Doctor Strange movie.
The first modern Batman movie, which is 40 years old.
First Doctor Strange movie.
You want to watch the first Doctor Strange movie? From the 70s?
Yes.
Oh no! He hit him in the spleen.
Oh no! He's...
Jesse's allowed to say these things, he's odd. Still don't think that's true, but what?
What, that I'm autistic?
No, that you're allowed to say it.
Why?
I don't know. I'm not equipped to talk about it. It just...
I went to the psychologist and got a diagnosis when I was
Doctor Strange will return.
like 12?
It's confirmed.
Was I 11 or 12?
23.
23? I'm 26!
Well, that was it. That was the movie. I hope I enjoyed. Did you?
I had a lot of fun.
Okay, just careful, you're still clipped in, so don't stand up. Turns out none of this was recorded.
Wait, really?
No, it's recording.
Oh, good.
It actually wasn't recording you for the first 2 minutes.
Alright, we're gonna have to rewatch the whole movie.
Starting now, let's go. Well, it's only 2:30. It's fine. We can fit another watch.
Look, I've got another few hours until I need to go and watch Married at First Sight.
Could watch something else.
We could watch Doctor Strange again.
You know what? Let's end this madness because the movie's over.
This multiverse of madness. Ah!